Ciao a tutti, siamo all'Arapacis per l'ultima giornata del MashRome Film Festival che ospiterà un personaggio di eccezione, cioè il regista Peter Greenaway, qui per tenere una lezione di cinema e per scambiare due chiacchiere con noi. A più tardi. Experimentation and visual art are MashRome Film Festival's keywords. Does, in your opinion, exist a way to associate or integrate these words with the studio's way of movie making in order to bring mainstream cinema close to new languages?
Well, are we interested in mainstream cinema? Are you really interested in mainstream cinema? Do you watch it? You know, mainstream cinema is like going home and watching your wallpaper. Do you go home and watch your wallpaper? I just think, as most part, 95% is extremely boring. But it's always been the case, hasn't it? You know, you take the 19th century salon painting, the people who are really fascinating were those people who are experimenting like the Impressionists. And the Impressionists have gone on to rule the world, and the salon painting has entirely disappeared. You know, Hollywood is either going to have to adapt, and it is adapting very rapidly. I mean, the most important thing now that's happening is TV series. You know, I'm sure you've seen them all. You know, it starts with Twin Peaks, and it goes on to Sex and the City, and it goes on The Walking Dead, and so on. These are the big sort of Hollywood sort of money-making phenomenon, which is already an indication that Hollywood doesn't have much confidence anymore in the notion of the singularity of the 120-minute feature film. They're losing money, they're losing money. So I think the battle is already being lost by Hollywood.
What would, in your opinion, be the best language to tell about nowadays Rome on the big screen?
Well, I'm not interested in your terms. I don't think the big screen means anything anymore. You know, in my pocket, I have a telephone which has a screen, and this screen is far more valuable. You know, I can make films and send them to my friend in Beijing in 15 seconds. You know, if I make a feature film for a big screen, it might be 2.5 years to get to Beijing or Shanghai, if it ever does. A filmmaker wants to communicate. He needs to talk. He needs to be able to express ideas. So it's not, you know, the glamour of the big screen that's important. It's what he has to say. So this screen is more valuable to me than that one.
You're a filmmaker, but as a moviegoer, do you prefer watching...
I'm not a moviegoer. I never go to the movies. Movies are far too boring. I don't want to waste my time going to the cinema.
That's surprising.
Well, it isn't surprising. I think if you ask, you know, creators, they gradually, I suppose, as they become to a certain sort of maturity, they concentrate on their little neck of the woods. They concentrate on what they do. And they're really fascinated by this process, and it's totally, totally consuming. So it takes up all your time. I've got a couple of teenage daughters, and, you know, I needed to take them to go and see the latest Disney. So maybe every now and again I might go and see a 3D movie made by Disney, you know, suitable for 13-year-olds. But that's the only time I go to the cinema, but it's just to accompany them. But, you know, in 3 or 4 years' time, my daughters won't want to be seen dead in the cinema with their father. That's really, you know, bad news. So I'm even going to lose that opportunity.
Talking about digital 3D and mockumentary are today two of the most used technologies in movie making. In your opinion, are they going to last, changing and influencing deeper and deeper the cinema of the future, or are they going to become obsolete in the coming years?
They're already obsolete, aren't they? Don't you think? You know, the whole video phenomenon has passed on by, you know, so much so that people don't say film and video. It's all one phenomenon now. You know, when I was a young man, there were sort of films made deliberately for television and films made deliberately from the cinema, but we don't even have those categories anymore. If you really want to be excited about what's happening now, you ought to be onto cyberspaces. You know, www.cyberspace.nl. Get onto it tonight. That is the future. The whole notion of Second Life. Are you on Second Life? Does Italy deal in Second Life? It's not very popular here, is it? I mean, it's fantastically popular in Asia, in Korea, in Japan, and China now, on the west coast of America. But Europe's falling behind here. I really think one of the future sort of situations of cinema will be to do with phenomena like Second Life.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Enjoy your last hours in Rome.
Last minutes.
Minutes. C'ho un sonno. Giornata del MashRome Film Festival che ospiterà un ospite, bello. Scusa.